We take that acronym that is false evidence appearing real, and we run with it. Or we do that forget everything and run, the two acronyms for fear. And we allow fear to stop us rather than fear to be that thing that we get comfortable with, doing something new. For Mary, my gosh, she didn't know how this was going to work through her, but she decided to allow herself to be that instrument of God. And what is Spirit asking you to be born through you in this moment of your life? What is it that you'd say, yes, but I'm too afraid to do that? And I'd like for us to practice an exercise here today that was an exercise that changed my life, and I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't practiced this very simple exercise. Remember, simple. So I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'm going to take you through this exercise that I practiced years ago, and the words are, if I wasn't afraid, I would blank. You fill in the blank. So ask yourself this in the deepest part of your heart. If I wasn't afraid, I would blank. And take a breath and allow yourself to open your eyes. And if something came, something will come to you, but if it's something that just came to you, you can write it on your bulletin. But what I would invite you to do is know that that answer is something that Spirit is wanting to birth through you. And I would also invite you to write it down sometime today and share that with somebody in your life. If I wasn't afraid, I would blank. Because in my life years ago, it was about letting go of a job that wasn't alive for me anymore. And had I not let go of that experience, I wouldn't have gone on to my next thing. And I certainly would not be standing here today. And it was a workshop, and I shared it with another woman. And the minute I heard myself say it, I wasn't afraid anymore. And things started shifting. And things were born through me that allowed me to go on in my passionate pursuit of ministry. And each of us are ministers. Mary, my gosh, what a great minister she was by just listening to this angel. Fear not. And friends, angels come in all ways. So let this time be one of looking at how you may hang on to fear a lot, or fear not. So Mary listened to her message. She was willing to have this new idea be born in her, or going to be born through her. And then she had to come and she had to share this with her loving, adoring fiancé, Joseph. All right, now Joseph probably had a big day, being the carpenter. He came home. He probably just wanted a nice bowl of matzo ball soup and going to relax for dinner. And Mary has a little bit of news. So Mary's going to tell him about her insights and her passionate journey, and that this angel visited her, and that she's going to go beyond the fear and allow herself to live her purpose. Now, what do you think Joseph said? In today's world, Joseph might have written something to Dear Abby. Dear Abby, my wife is pregnant. She says it's God. I am a man of faith, but this is really testing my belief. Do you know of any paternity tests for God? And Dear Abby might have written back, Dear Joe, God works in mysterious ways. Trust the process and get back to me in late December. But, the idea is that Joseph was the support. And where do we, when we are going beyond that fear, ask for support in our life? Notice the people that are supporting us. We tend to notice often the people that aren't supporting us, the people that are difficult, the people that don't get on board with us, the people that don't believe in our dreams. But I'd like for us in this moment to think of one person that supports you and believes in you. I wish Duke was not feeling well today, but I wish he was here, because I really want to thank him for seeing my vision, for supporting me, for saying yes, for being willing to believe in me as I wanted to go into ministry and all the ups and downs I've had with it. But that he has always stayed there and believed in me. And our idea today is to say thank you to those people that support you and believe in you and are there for you. And often these people are kind of anonymous. This doesn't have to be an ego thing with people. I know when I was giving the coffee to those folks, every once in a while the barista would say, oh, that lady bought you a cup of coffee. And they'd come over and they'd say, oh, thank you. But what I recognized was that it was really such a gift just to be anonymous. It certainly helps to tell the people that are supporting you, thank you, but you can tell by supporting someone, it can even just be in a thought or an idea. And so we get to engage. Wayne Dyer says that any act of compassion raises the endorphins of the giver, of the receiver, and of all the observers. So we can always give. It doesn't have to be buying something for somebody. It can be smiling at someone. It can be listening to someone. It can be believing in someone's dream and telling them you're there for them in your thoughts and you're going to hold that vision for them. Lisa Allman Baldwin, who led our candle today, she's just been such a great example in my life. She has been a freelance writer for years and traveling and writing. And when so many people tell me, you can't travel and make a living traveling, I always go, oh, yes, you can. My friend Lisa does. And so Lisa, with the shifts in our economy, certainly not in our spiritual economy because it's always unlimited, came to a place where her writing, she was going to need to expand her idea of her career. And she wrote a letter to ask for support. She wrote it and she sent it out to many of her friends. And she said at the time she was sending it out, she felt anything like spiritually unlimited. She said when she was writing it, she kind of felt like she had the, not that feeling of not being very triumphant, of being, kind of lost. But she sent it out to lots of people saying, I need support. I need spiritual support. I need help. I don't know financially what's going to happen for me. But she said she got so many letters back with people saying, good for you. What great courage you have to speak your truth, to fear not, and to talk about what's happening with you. And Lisa kept talking, she kept growing, she came to a lot of our prosperity classes. We're going to start more next year, starting one in February. And she grew in her understanding of feeling like God was her employer. Fear not. And she ended up just recently getting an incredible position at Unity Village, doing her writing and connecting with spiritual principle by being out there 24/7. I mean, 24/7, but being out there in that energy of unity. So she's writing, she's in a career that she said is beyond her dreams because she was willing to fear not and ask for support. She's also working with one of my very dear friends out there. So it's beyond what we can think. This Christmas message, this connection with ourselves and our spiritual ministry. So finally, Joseph and Mary are they got their deal going, and they're going to have the census in Bethlehem. They're going to be counted. So I suppose they would say 1 man, 1 woman, 1 child of God. And so they come up to Bethlehem, and who do they encounter but the innkeeper, who has another really interesting message for us. Because what did the innkeeper say? There's no room. It was no Motel 6. There was no light on for these people. And at the innkeeper represents that part of us that there's just no room for the new to happen, for the good to happen. That we have to make space for the miracles in our life. We have to move out of unhealthy relationship if we want healthy relationship to show up. I'm looking at my friends that just got engaged this Christmas season, and that people that had to move out of unhealthy relationship to let healthy relationship happen. And that we've got to move out of unhealthy career if we want career to happen. Or we have to allow ourselves to have positive affirmations for our life and let those negative thoughts, be the untrue things they are. And so how many of us have that place of the innkeeper where there's not enough room for the new to happen in our life? So Joseph and Mary end up going to and finding a stable in Bethlehem. And Jesus is born in a manger. Now this man that ended up being one of the most enlightened people on this planet started out in the simplest of beginnings, the humblest of beginnings, in a manger. No jewels, no servants, no heat. Really simple. And he became the King of Kings. None of us had more simple beginnings than Jesus in his birth. And so all of us have all of the resources, all of the spiritual passion and desire within us to be that enlightened being that we were born to be.